Hey guys, welcome back to the Fergie Time podcast. Today we are joined by Daniel or Natural Red, and we will be discussing, is Liverpool the best Premier League team ever, or if not, who is? So I just want to start by premising this video with, we've come with a list of 5 teams, and you can add teams. This is the list I've compiled of the 2019-2020 Liverpool team, the 2017-2018 Manchester City team, the 2004-2005 Chelsea team, a 2003-2004 Arsenal Invincibles, and then the 1998-1999 Manchester United team. So that's the list I've compiled. Feel free to add on to it. Is there a team or a few teams that stick out in your mind from this list or Premier League team?
Well, it's hard to compare. So people talk about the quality of the league, and it just baffles me because it shouldn't be looked upon if it's worse nowadays or was it worse back in the day. So this actually, I was talking about Liverpool team because this is my expertise. I shouldn't say that, but I know this more than anything, right? But I don't like comparing it, like I don't. But this Liverpool team you've got that winning mentality, that driving force of team orientated. So when you got to pass, obviously the treble, Invincibles, and even you can go past the City team, you can look at the stars in the team. You can say, "Oh, this player drives the team." With Liverpool, you don't really have a one. What do you call it?
Standalone player.
Standalone player that you think, "Oh, he drives the team." We had it with a couple. We've had it at the Liverpool for the whole Premier League. You had Suarez, you had Jota just running the team, and it wasn't enough. And this Liverpool side right here, is incredible. Just a winning mentality. I mean, we just saw the captain go down recently, and we didn't realize how important he is to the side.
For real.
He just shouts at them. He just makes sure everyone is in order. Make sure everyone's following the instructions by the manager. And it just... Oh, there we go. More fun. There we go. But it's all about team orientation, isn't it? It's all about working together. If you don't do your job, you're going to get shouted by the captain. You're going to get destroyed by Milner in the dressing room and so on. It's a bit that fear factor. Jurgen Klopp's we've seen it time and time again. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I agree. That the one thing with that Liverpool team is I obviously knew Henderson was an important player, but you don't realize it. I didn't fully realize it until he got out. I did like a Player of the Year video before, and I didn't really have Henderson in that conversation. But looking at how his absence has impacted them, I definitely realize now that that's a mistake. Looking at some of the other teams, the Manchester City team, I know it is pretty recent as well, but some of the records they broke in terms of most wins, most goals, most away wins, I thought stood out to me. Incredible. And also only trailed 153 minutes the entire season, which is insane. So I think they deserve a shout, but is that legacy tarnished now a little bit with some of their financial fair play? It's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Every time you get mentioned about City and their success, you can't help it, but that's going to be on top of your mind. It's going to be around the conversation. But they did this, but they did this, but this, and all that, and all the financial things. But in terms of, we're just looking at the players on the pitch because it's. Yeah. I'm not talking about anything else. That's probably in my opinion, the best team. If you get the most points, you're the best team. Yeah. It's more really logical since for me, the treble team got about 80 points.
That's 79 points. Yeah. But then there's the argument for trophies, right? So it's like the criteria, right? If you want to look at points in the Premier League, or do we want to look at trophies? That's where it kind of comes, I guess, like gray area. It's kind of confusing there.
Yeah, it depends what you look at. I mean, we've hit the 79 points right now. It's just depends what your criteria is. The best team. But City just striking 100 points. For me, that's the best ever. If you talk about single seasons, I mean, Sky Sports, have you seen that they did the thing with it?
Yeah, I saw their debate where they did the trophies one, and they went all the way back. They did all the English teams, not just Premier League teams, and they ranked them, and I thought that was interesting.
It's pretty good. But they compared it to this Liverpool team and the City team over the few years against them, and they were really high up. So it'll be interesting to see in 5-10 years if we're still talking about this, or there'll be another team, or if say Arsenal will get their shit together, or United, probably not, but it could happen, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting.
I think for the Chelsea team, I think they're a good shout, but I don't quite put them in that conversation just because they were fantastic defensively, but as we see now with the modern game, especially when we're looking at like good offense always beats good defense, it seems like. And I think that Chelsea team was so hard to break down, conceding the fewest goals in Premier League history with, I think, 15 or something like that, which was insane. But I think if you put them up against the City team, hypothetical head-to-head, which is always just not very easy to predict, I think like a great offense will always beat a great defense. And I think that is one thing. And they also got fewer points. So I think it's hard to throw Chelsea in there. It's still a very good side, obviously. Yeah, the Invincibles, though, it's hard to argue against a team that went undefeated throughout an entire season. But the amount of draws then, it's such a hard thing. And they also struggled to do well in Europe. So for me, actually, the team that I would say, in my opinion, is the best would be the Manchester United 98-99 team. And if we're looking at that midfield, it's insane. Like Giggs, Keane, Scholes, and Beckham. Like that is one of the best midfielders ever, and especially in the Premier League. And I think the treble is like I know the points. Their points are like some of the fewest. Liverpool, like you said, same amount of points. But I think being able, like they mentioned in that Sky Sports video, being able to be competitive across like Europe and then in the Premier League still is the true testament of a good team. And that's why I probably linked that United team. Yeah,
obviously points don't matter if you win the league. It just doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you do it across all the board, I mean, no one's done it ever since. It just makes it even harder. And that treble team, we went for it this season. It's especially got to need a squad who can get up for a game every single time, and playing a strong squad in domestic cups isn't easy. Like we had it in December, we went to League Cup, we went to Qatar, and then the next day we faced Villa, or the other way around. It's just difficult to manage the squad, and it's just fair play to them.
And I think part of it too is the managers, which don't get talked enough with these teams, right? Like even with a guy like Jurgen Klopp, who's like the master motivator of players, Liverpool still got knocked out of the FA Cup, which is insane. And I think that also gives a little testament to Sir Alex Ferguson and his ability to get that team up for every single match. Obviously, Klopp's still a great and one of the best managers. Something Guardiola struggled with is getting players to be like consistently great throughout Europe and in the Premier League. If I'm ranking these teams, it's so hard, but I'd go United 1. I'd go the 98-99 United team number 1, just because the treble, no one's been able to replicate that. And I think it's possible in the future. We could even see it this season with this Liverpool team getting more points than City. So I think that's actually easier to beat. But I'm going to go United 1. I'm going to go City 2. The Invincibles 3, which just sounds awful putting them that low. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Liverpool 4 and Chelsea 5. Thoughts on my list? I'm not going to force you to make a list, obviously, because you said you're not big into the comparisons. But any thoughts on my list? Where did I go wrong?
Wow. I can't see how you can compare it. It's fine, but like putting us above Chelsea, it's not good. I'll still put us fifth, but it's hard to compare with the different generations. That Chelsea team, you couldn't score. I mean, they'll score one goal, and it's like, oh well, that's it then, is it? That's it, one goal, and then the Mourinho so would just shut up shop and just play 2 banks of 4, and that's it. And he had Drogba up front. You can't got to sell them, but Centurion's team second. Yeah.
I think you could argue the Invincibles could jump that City team for sure.
You could jump them up and you could be still correct. It's just 4 amazing sides, not including us yet. I just don't like to do it with us yet because we're still in progress.
I'm curious, where do you think Liverpool will finish in terms of points this season? Do you have a prediction for that at all?
I mean, what's the max you can get? Is it 115?
I think so. And they have a loss and a draw so far. Because they do have a very good shot at City's 100 points.
I mean, I reckon we'll break it. The top is 115. I'm thinking, so I reckon we'll get 100. I reckon we'll lose one game just because we'll focus in the Champions League, or because you've got the league wrapped up in about 4 or 5 games, touch wood, and then focus is gone elsewhere. and then you start playing the resting players in the league. You start playing maybe Nico Williams, giving a game at right back. You start giving Curtis Jones maybe a game. Just rotating, keeping players fresh just in case an injury happens. We have to throw them into the Champions League. But it'll be hard to be undefeated. I reckon we'll lose one game. When we've got City away, they're going to push something against us. That'll be hard.
In City's season, they finished with 32 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses. And Liverpool currently sit on 26 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So I think it's going to be like right down to the wire. I see Liverpool either finishing 2 or 3 points above or 2 or 3 points below. It's just going to be insane, like, to see. I genuinely think that they're going to be able to do it. I think if Henderson can get back soon enough, and then Klopp will do his magic, I think they could do it, which would be insane. And I think then, I mean, it would be interesting to see where they are. I think it's fair, though, to put them in 5th right now, just considering that nothing's been done yet. So I guess we'll leave it off on that note. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Go check out Daniel's channel, Natural Red. He does all the best live stream match reactions. So thank you and take it easy. Peace.